Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, corporate man at TFW, and I'm joined by the man who was trapped in the abyss 10,000 years ago until Cobra Khan set him free. It's Mikey G. Wolfie 3. Hello, Mikey.
That's a G.I. Joe reference?
No. It's a Mike Young He-Man 2002 reference.
Cobra Khan. Cobra Khan. I was thinking something.
Cobra Khan spelled with K's, obviously, like the Mortal Kombat tradition.
I remember Cobra Khan. He was cool.
Yeah.
But actually, I really like the Snake Man designs. But
they're all good.
I was like, my brain was just going like, is that G.I. Joe or wrestling?
To be fair, Cobra Khan easily could have been a G.I. Joe character. If the K's were C's, he would have been G.I. Joe.
Never forget Cobra la 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 la.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I still like the G.I. Joe movie. It's not great. It's not terrible, though. I'll take it over the G.I. Joe that's out in 2021. Oh, wait, there is none.
I don't remember it, if I'm honest.
You know what? I haven't seen it, but I would say the G.I. Joe cartoon movie is probably a better, more enjoyable film than the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes Origins movie. That came out this year. I don't know that for sure, because I haven't seen the Snake Eyes movie, but I'm pretty sure it's true. What do you think? Do you think that's fair?
Sorry, I just literally stumbled on something I've never heard of before.
Maths.
That is blowing my brain.
Oh, it is maths. Okay.
You remember Tokusatsu Gagaga?
I do.
There was a Transformers manga equivalent.
Really? Okay.
Transformers and Dialect Girl, My Toys, ran for 3 issues.
Ah.
By
3 issues. That's not many.
Dodo Yamasaki.
Mm-hmm.
And it's scarily similar in terms of premise.
How similar is it in terms of story? Does it follow beat for beat? Or does it not say?
I don't know. I'm just reading. The summary is, it's 3 chapters following the daily life of Kari Hanamura, an 18-year-old romance prodigy who has recently moved from countryside Tokyo to write for a literary magazine. She spends her time causing trouble for her 27-year-old cousin and editor, Satoko, who would much rather meet her deadline, blah, 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 instead of skipping showers and ordering Transformers in line. The manga features a number of fantasy sequences where Kaori connects her current predicament to Transformers, as well as imagining her toys talking to her.
Huh. Oh, so she has a psychological break, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, Tokusatsu Gagaga.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's true. She has a psychological break as well, technically.
Would you like? Fuck off! This is something TF Wiki hates Legends, and I'm fucking sick of it. But similar to Transformers mangas like Kiss Players and Legends, Transformers Dialect Girl uses rather crude sexual appeal to try and sell the brand. Unlike those examples, it doesn't insert this into the fictional world of Transformers, instead promising the reader that yes, hot girls play with Transformers toys too.
Wow, that's a very
How do I put this delicately? Hot girls do play with Transformers. They go to conventions. We've seen it 1,000 fucking times.
It's interesting that TF Wiki doesn't respect the Japanese culture of storytelling.
Interesting, they don't respect Mayor fucking Megatron. I mean, granted, like, as my outrage, mostly pretend outrage, but outrage is still there. This is the main character.
Alright, let's have a look. You booped at me.
That's the main character.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. The guy in the top right looks like Chris Broad from abroad in Japan.
Has someone translated this? Someone has translated this!
Wow, I just looked at how big this girl's eyes are. They've drawn her with the giant anime eyes. Her eyes are bigger than her mouth by quite a significant amount.
have they translated this properly, or have they translated this in like, I wrote a script, let's see. They did we wrote a script thing, but I am going to look at this later on. But, sorry, this just completely stunned me. I've never heard of this in my life.
Well, you can report back next week, or at least tell me over DMs,
definitely.
hopefully, if it's any good, or at least I mean, it's 3 chapters, so that's not going to be a long read, I would imagine, right?
Also, TF Wiki, stop picking on Transformers Legends and go to hell.
It's not going to happen. They've made
No.
up their minds, so...
No. I once asked...
Once again, Mikey, we are the only people who will support, outwardly support
genuinely ask
Legends.
this once, do you not think you're taking it a bit far sometimes? And they're just like, no, I hate it. I'm just like, yeah, you hate it, but you're not the world.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's bad just because you don't like it.
Like, I've met many people who do like it, and the very light, sexy stuff got, largely dropped by the time they were in the middle of Combiner Wars? Beyond the Megatronia cutting off the Combiner link thing. But, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird to me, and it's like you suddenly wander into that place where someone's running around screaming, Japanese are doing animations, and this has blood in it. And I'm just like, yeah, you've never seen an anime before in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to judge, but I'm very comfortable doing it.
Get the fuck out of here. You do mean to judge.
No, I'm reading this.
Good. You should. It's a good thing. But we're here today to talk about Transformers, which we have been doing, technically. While Mike has been flapping his gums about.
Caught off guard, but yes.
Yeah. But there's very little news this week, but that's not a huge surprise. So we're going to kick into said news. Third-party toys, as usual, kicking it off with Mech Fans Toys doing the MS-29 Falcon, or as it's actually spelled, Falcon. It's going to be a G1 styled, of course, Legend scale, of course, Springor, or Springer, as he's also named. He is going to, G1 Springer, he does 3 modes. He does a helicopter, a motor vehicle, and a Roboman. He comes with accessories such as the I'm not doing my dying tonight because I want to live shell. He has his gun for when he wants to shoot people when they don't take his order at McDonald's, and he also has his sword for when he wants to flip over a pizza.
This all seems like very specific examples, Andy, and I feel it's saying more about you.
Life has been a very weird thing for me, Mikey. I would prefer you don't judge it. That's all I'm saying. So they try to make Springer look as animation accurate as possible in each of his 3 modes. We have seen varying successful third-party and official Springers in the past. The question, Miguel O'Sullivan, is how well do you think this version is doing? And obviously taking into the fact that it's Legend scale as well.
Mm-hmm. I think the vehicle modes look decent. At least the photos. The helicopter feels very long. Very,
like
very
a long Furby.
Yeah, I think the vehicle mode, the car mode, looks a bit more compact. But they seem to have you fold out the tail of the helicopter.
Yes,
or you pull it out or something. But
I think you might be right with the fold. Actually,
yeah, it feels a wee bit overly long. The overall aesthetic is fine, but it's weird that people struggle with Springer because Springer has an incredibly simple design between the 2 modes.
Oh, you think it's fucking easy? Then why don't you do it, Mikey? Yeah, why don't you do it?
They won't hire me.
There you go, hire Mikey.
Yeah,
paleontologist Mikey.
The robot mode looks fine. Nothing remarkable or anything like that. I don't like the sword. I think it's a wee bit too simplistic. Okay. But the bomb, is that a bomb?
Well, I guess technically it's like a shell, isn't it? Because he loads it into the catapult thing.
Yeah. No, he looks fine. He doesn't look remarkable in any shape or form, but he might be one of those ones where the engineering's nuts. Well, I mean, there is that. Springer does not have certainly robot mode. Springer does not have the most interesting design. No. It just, he looks standard and a little plain and not super exciting. But I think this is going to be one where it's all about the engineering. Because the engineering on something like this is when you go oh wow, what fun to transform, and oh wow, look at all these modes and stuff like that. Yeah, he looks like he's got solid articulation. He's a weird one. He's hard to comment on, if I'm honest.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
I really like the head sculpt for him. That looks pretty spot on, and it's a fairly flat expression, but pretty well done for what they're going for. I'm not too fond of the sword. It's a little bit thick for my liking, but it's deliberately thick so it can be decent-sized helicopter blades. And I think the way that the sword kind of splits in half and becomes the helicopter blades seems fairly successful. It seems like it's done that job well. The hands being on the side of the helicopter mode is just something you got to deal with when you're doing with a Springer, because that's how he's meant to be. He's very G1 toy. Is his helicopter mode long? I suppose so. Helicopters can be long, though. If you could have had it compact a little bit more, that would have been nice, but I don't find it as much as an issue as maybe you do, Mr. Mikey. Car mode's always been ugly, because Springer has an ugly car mode, at least in my opinion, again. So I guess they've knocked that out of the park. And yeah, because Springer doesn't have a real poppy silhouette, he just does kind of look like a robot man for the most part. Which, you know, it's fine, fair enough. I like the accessories he comes with. He seems to be able to hold them all well. I have a feeling balancing the shell in his hand is going to be a real pain in the anal glands. In the pose where they've got him holding it, I have to imagine they're using blue tack. I have to imagine, because if you see like they've got the front hand, or one of the hands like underneath the shell, and then the other one's just in the back of it. And I assume that's where the blue tack is to hold it in place, because otherwise there doesn't seem to be any pegs or anything like that. So I think there might be a little bit of tomfoolery, trickery, Photoshop woo. Well, not Photoshop woo, but a little Photoshop magic there. But yeah, he's fine. He just doesn't do a huge amount for me. Stats wise, apparently he's going to be 12 centimeters tall. For those of you who really like that stuff. And it doesn't really say anything about... they say no concrete information about prices or dates. So it's probably a little bit of a ways off. At least it's not round the corner. Mikey, do you want to tell us about a Starscream? Because it's clearly a Starscream.
Starscream. Yeah, this is... one. So last week we talked about PPL Toys, PPL01... Optimus Prime model kit, Warrior, OP Warrior, and also they released a video which was sort of a demonstration on how to remove things from the sprue, and they used fingers to remove things from the sprue, and every time they did, I visibly winced.
Oh, why?
Because they were just using their nails. Every time.
Cut your nails.
So it's just like every time they had a nail, every time they went to a sprue, they just pressed down and did the thing where they just try and separate the part from the sprue, and it was just like, no, stop that.
Did you have images of like bad things happening to the nail?
Bad things happening to the nail, bits of plastic ripping off. Like many, and these are painted as well. And I was just like, just get it. It will sound better as well. You can do that auditory thing people like. There's a whole YouTube community of people who do auditory model kit assemblage.
Oh, okay.
Which is just basically they film at high res and do snap, 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 and it's basically toy ASMR.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it's that. I guess that's interesting enough, I guess.
And not just Kason, who does kind of the same thing, but more screaming.
I was going to say, that's not ASMR if she's screaming. Well, maybe it is for some people. I'm not sure.
Or flashing these days. But that's a different conversation.
I was going to say, what?
Yeah, sorry. She's clearly not self-aware that she's on live camera sometimes.
Or she is. To be fair, she might be self-aware.
But anyway, so they're doing a model kit for Prime, and now it looks like they're going to be doing the Seeker. Presumably Starscream, and presumably we'll get 4 or 5 repaints out of this. But this is a G1 styled approach, as was Optimus. It's going to come with a blast effect and a crown and cape and shoulder pad set, because we all need that. We'll also have a Megatron gun you can give over to the Optimus. It'll have multiple hand options, and you can swap heads with the Optimus to make it look like Starscream's living inside him.
Yay!
So yeah, these are snapped together, won't need any glue, these will be pre-painted. Do not be like the people making this toy, please use clippers. For the love of all that's holy, use clippers.
Does it really annoy you when you see people doing model kits and they just like they twist the pieces out?
Oh,
it hurts, doesn't it?
It hurts my actual teeth. Like I can feel it in the back of my jaw.
You do that when you're 10. That's fine.
Yeah. Like if you're young and you're getting these things, and like that's fine. It's just like you're an adult buying this. Like don't be like Ben's Collectibles when he made the Trumpeteer Bumblebee.
Oh
Ben,
God!
I've never really forgiven you for that one.
You know what's great as well? The first image of the PP aircraft commander is there's a paintbrush, there is a nipper, and there is glue images on there as well. Are those things? Oh, it says there's no tools required. No glue required and no paint required for this. On the first image. Interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be like self-assemble, like just stick it together. It's definitely gives the vibe of not for the model kit crowd, for the Transformers crowd.
Yeah, or I guess for like, is it fair to say like Lego-ish people? Because it's like, similar, you just have the parts and you push it together to a much more simple degree, obviously. Or it's like a beginner model kit, I suppose. It's maybe your entry point into the models.
I mean, I'm assuming so. Just looking at the actual like kit for the Prime, it didn't look super complicated.
No, I'd be surprised if it was. I don't think it's going to be a perfect grade, for instance. Thankfully.
Yeah, no. I hope not. Because if that was perfect grade, I'd ask a lot more. I mean, I want to see, like, might be fun to get a Thundercracker out of this if they do them, and it's not super crazy expensive, but
Would you not prefer a Skywarp though, Mikey?
No, Skywarp. What has Skywarp ever done, Andy?
Looked really fucking cool.
Has he done anything else?
That's what I said. That's enough.
I stand by my line in the sand.
Exactly.
But yeah, I've got nothing else to say on him. Do you?
He sure is a seeker. And model kit, it's hard really to say too much because these are clearly not real images. I'd be more interested once it's a living being, let's say, when life has been injected into a mold and formed into a seeker, a combat aircraft, and then we can actually, like, also if we could get some people actually building these and talking about the quality, that would also be really useful as well.
Yeah.
And especially if they use words like, it feels like a Bandai kit, or it feels like a Kotobukiya runaway.
Yeah. It's always something to be aware of because, unfortunately, like, even like fully licensed high-end kits, if you get the wrong one, it's like handling like rubber. So, third party, not the same regulations, not the same standard intrinsically would be how I'd put it. Like, they don't have to meet any standard.
It's made of asbestos.
Yeah, made of baby children.
Yes. Their souls infused into it. Yes.
Yep, crushed down into the plastic. But you know, like, especially with something that you have to put together and need those pegs to stand up and need those pegs not to break as you're pushing them together, or need it not to be made of that plastic that reacts badly to certain types of liner pen.
I would even say like it needs to be to the point where you can put it together. And then if you've made a mistake, like you haven't put in one part, you can still pull it apart and then push it back together and nothing's going to break and it's still going to be fairly tight. Because there have been one or two times when I've been building a model kit where I've pushed parts together and gone, oh fuck, I've missed one tiny piece shit. And I've had to wangle these parts back open. Again, just going like, careful.
Easy.
Have you done that yet, Mikey? Have you made that mistake?
Yo, so many times.
It happens so easily. You're like, I'm just following the instructions, and you're like, da. Oh, that's right, because this arm's very slightly asymmetrical to the other one, because there's one extra part in here. Shit.
Yep. And now you need to get your slowly dying part separator and go like...
Oh, I don't have a part separator.
I do, but it's like knackered would be a polite way of putting it.
What I do is I have to use the back of my knife and slowly kind of like get into a crack and then kind of just waggle it left and right until it like slowly starts pulling open. Then I can get nails in there and start working my way around the seam. It takes a while and it hurts. Bad times. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Shall I take us on to the next story, Mikey?
Please.
Alright, New Age, doing the H27W Conquest and H28 Octavian, if I've said that right. And it just says the Legend Scale Ultra Magnus.
Oh no, they're not doing the thing where they sell like the white Optimus and then you buy an armor kit as well, are they?
I love you, Mikey.
Oh, god damn it.
You're so pretty.
Damn it!
Your cheeks are so pinchable.
Oh, damn it all to hell.
Damn you, New Age. Damn you. Yes, New Age brings us an Ultra Magnus based off the G1 toy idea of a separate Optimus Prime. No one's done that before. And his base armor being his trailer. So yeah, you do have to buy each of these individually if you want to have a full Ultra Magnus. I guess we could talk about how well it's turned out in both modes. Though in my mind, if you're buying an Ultra Magnus, who wants to just have a crappy white Optimus Prime? This is not the situation of an Optimus Prime where you're like, you don't need the trailer. This is the situation where you do need the trailer, because that's what the character is.
Yeah.
He's, in my eyes, I've never been a person who's like, Ultra Magnus is a white Optimus Prime. I realized it was a concession for the Generation 1 toy. It's a concession I accept because of early 1980s or mid 1980s in Japan for a different toy line. Totally fine. A-okay. When we brought him over to the West, that wasn't the thing. He was just one boy. Let's not make him a white Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
It's too late for that, though. We're past that point. Mikey, how do you think white Optimus Prime looks on his own then? He's got accessories.
He looks fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like him, but he's fine.
I'm not sure what he comes with specifically, because they show Ultra Magnus combined in his armor mode with all the different hands and
the
guns.
Same accessories the Optimus came with.
That would make sense.
So what did the New Age Optimus come from? But I don't like the thing is I don't like the way the blue and the white is used on White Prime.
You mean specifically on the head, or
I've never liked it.
No.
If he's coming with the same accessories, he'll come with a gun, an axe, a couple of hands, a roller, and a trailer. But
I wonder if they cheapen out and take out the axe.
I could see them take out the roller and the trailer, to be honest.
Oh, but, definitely do that, yeah.
But I really hope not. But I'm if that's his whole accessory set, because that's the G1 gun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, would I be disappointed buying White Optimus.
The reason why I think me and Mikey are confused is because the only image that has a layout of what this is coming with is with the Ultra Magnus armor, which has an extra 2 sets of hands. Let's say one set is finger guns.
Yep.
And the other one is I'm a bitch slap you hands.
Yep.
And then we have the classic Ultra Magnus white gun, and then the G1 Optimus Prime gun, the Ion Blaster, and then a Matrix of Leadership as well. So again, is that coming with the trailer? Is that coming is this maybe the Ion Blaster is at least going with the Optimus
the
Prime?
Matrix was with the Prime.
Yeah, so maybe those Bomb 2 are going with the Prime. Maybe. I don't know. It's not very clear, at least not in any of the images we have here, at least any of the information we have here. We have him in some promo shots with some actually nice background shots. I do like those, him squaring up against New Age Galvatron. I think that the Ultra Magnus, when combined up being Ultra Magnus, looks neat. It does look good.
Looks fine. Weirdly good ankles.
Why are they weirdly good?
Partly because you could see Optimus's feet sticking out of them, but also those are really deep, way deeper than you usually see on a figure with this kind of build.
Yeah, they've done a neat thing of using the ankle tilt from the Prime and then kind of just building armor around it that can also facilitate that bend as well without seemingly hinder it. It'll be interesting to hear how well this all kind of holds together and connects on. Are there any wiggly parts? Are there any parts that are a bit on the scary side? Do the thigh thickeners and whiteners feel good on him? All that kind of stuff I think is fairly important. We can't tell that here and now. We can only look at him and go E and ooh and ah.
Ooh.
Yeah, ooh too, that too. Do you have any other thoughts on this, Mikey, apart from where's Diaclone Commander?
Diaclone, it's the only one I care about.
I like Diaclone.
I could see New Age actually doing that because they've done some really unusual retools.
Why isn't that made that into Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus? Or would you like a crazier color scheme?
I would, because he's just blue and red, isn't he?
I think it's basically if you reverse the blue and the red on Ultra Magnus. Which is a very, is it fair to say lazy idea that they would probably do for Shed Glass?
Are you saying that the Transformers Collectors Club was not necessarily a font of creativity?
I'm just saying that the Shattered Glass Starscream is a piece of crap.
No, Andy, see, he's Jetfire's colors.
I know, but why?
Because it's clever, because Jetfire was a good guy, right?
Okay.
With one story that's associated with Starscream, and then the two of them forgot they ever met each other. But, so they had that, but then you see, Starscream is a bad guy, right? Mm-hmm, and then they're both plain, so you swap the colors, and it's clever. Except Jetfire turns black and purple instead.
You know what I would have done for Starscream, and it might have been too much for people. I might have gone like full America fuck yeah with him, and had like an American flag over his wings. You know, like those show planes that you get for air shows, where they're like really ostentatious. And because the character for that Starscream's meant to be incredibly vain, I'd have something like that, because I think that could be quite fun. Now, obviously, justifying how he has an American flag on Cybertron, just don't think about that, but that would be something I'd be more into.
Oh man, that would be fun.
I guess with a read like Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus, maybe we go kind of crazy and go like for a not Toxitron colors, but a Toxitron concept. Like we go for like maybe weird over the top tiger patterns or just weird 90s color schemes. So he's like instead of him being a straight up commander dude, he can be like a drungy kind of scrubby kind of maybe junker guy.
What I would have done, and I know they didn't do this, but what I would have done if I were doing Shattered Glass, I would have come up with the personalities and then done the color schemes to fit those personalities.
No, that's silly, Mikey. That's
like,
stupid.
Rather than like what they did, like Cyclonus has Hot Rod's colors. Why? Because they're both in the 86 movie.
That was also the fucking terrible idea.
Yeah.
Terrible idea.
You know, I remember how mad they got over Shattered Glass. Octopunch.
When you say they, who do you mean they? Do you mean the fans, or do you mean
the creators? The creators
okay.
at the club. I think it was Rick Alvarez. Because they did Shattered Glass Octopunch, and everyone pointed out he has duck nipples.
Oh yeah! Oh,
and like he got so mad. And you know what? I kind of want it now, because I bet you could find a baseball cap to go on his head.
Hang on, I'm trying to figure out what the connection between duck nipples. Oh, is it Subaru?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I was thinking of duck nipples, and I was
Shuba
like,
spray.
What's duck nipples?
Shuba spray.
Okay,
I Shuba spray.
Yeah, but no, it would have been nice if Shattered Glass had a bit more. I get why it didn't. It was like, what toys do we have available? Let's do a color scheme for them, and let's build a personality after that. Would have maybe be nice if it wasn't that. But then again, it might be nice if the color schemes were a bit more inventive. Like I think Shattered Glass Bumblebee is a way more inventive color scheme than it has any right to be.
Yeah. A few of them have really good, like Blur's is not really a reference to anything. It's just a good color scheme.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Same with the proper Goldbug.
Prime kind of.
Prime works.
It's just like turning the red to purple, but it or pinky kind of violety purple, but it works, and you know, adding on the green and the shad.
But then you get things like
goob.
Grimlock, which is what if Triptychon.
Yeah, that's the problem when it's what if they're this other character's color scheme, and you're like, no.
It's like how everyone thinks like, hey, let's do a Mirrorverse episode in Star Trek. Everyone will be psychotic.
Yes, yeah,
and have a beard.
To be fair though, when they did Everybody Has a Beard, that's because it was like the original Star Trek show, very cheap.
Yep, they did not have the budget to do anything else.
So it's like, just give them a beard. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah. You know what they weren't brave enough to do though.
Give Uhura a beard.
Exactly. They didn't give Uhura a beard. How were you meant to know she was evil unless she had a beard? She could have been good.
They're doing the next generation Mirrorverse comic, and
you sent me the image of that last week or something. Wow.
The absolutely horrendous looking, like, what year is this escaping from, and can I put it back to it? And I'm just like,
it looked like someone from the 90s had designed it, that's for sure.
But put a beard on Troy. Same outfit, same everything, just give her a beard.
It was the fact that Data had like a knife or a shuriken or something like that. It's like, what? Yeah, like,
and
Jesus.
It's like, but like, you're in space. You probably aren't actually boarding that often.
Probably not.
Like,
I mean, the
Shanks
Klingons
really
did, but that was not a wise move to do.
No, they always
speaking.
lost when they did that.
Yeah, oddly enough. And they were meant to be really good close combat warriors, and they always lost.
Oh yeah, they lost the advanced fighting style of the next of the Federation, which was open hand palm. Pa.
Oh yeah, that was always good.
Pa.
To be fair, on Deep Space Nine though, when they on that
they picked a fight with Cisco, but that's not.
Well,
fair.
it's to be fair, he did the whole thing of just beating the shit out of them. But it's like before that, it's like how many ran in and just got shot with a phaser before they got into combat range.
Yeah,
that was a lot of dead. Never mind.
Let's be honest. Like, Star Trek has a really dumb approach to actual combat.
Yeah, it's not the best. I think Babylon 5 generally did battles better.
Yeah, I also think modern Star Trek also has a dumb idea about combat, but in a different way.
It looks nicer, though, because it has a fucking huge budget. The problem is they don't do anything with it.
It's smart. So much, because, like, it's an amazing thing. I could do a backflip. Is there a reason to do a backflip? I have done a backflip.
Brett, it looks sick. You know what's really disappointing, Mikey? When you watch, like, a modern Western show, live-action show, and then you see what the quality of, like, the choreography and the idea of the planning of what the fights actually have to look like, and then you go to Japan to a children's show, like Kamen Rider. You know, and this is no offense to the Japanese. They have far less money than the West for when they're making a TV show, and it's also at a very different market, and yet the Japanese are able to go like, you know what? It's time to fucking school, you losers. Granted, there have been times in, like, Kamen Rider's history, even the more modern ones, where you're like, oh, that's not great.
Yeah, we're going to talk about one later.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I was like, what, revise? And then I was like, but your thing was positive. But then I remembered you did a tweet today, and I saw the 5 or 6 tweets in a row, and went, oh, Mikey, why? Why are you doing this to yourself?
Did you notice they were all saying the same thing?
Yes, yeah.
I was trying to find a picture of. I was trying to find a picture of Deck a Break, a GIF of Deck a Break.
Which one's Deck a Break?
The 6th one.
I don't.
The white and blue
Saber.
one. The white and blue.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
Not Saber, like from Deca Ranger.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
And he just got his catchphrase is just waving his finger and going nonsense.
Nonsense. Yeah, well, there you go.
There's a YouTube video of that. There was a 20-minute cut of every time he said nonsense. It's insane.
20 minutes? God damn. Well, I suppose that makes sense. There's probably like 50 episodes or something like that. So, yeah, wow. Shall we move on, Mikey? Let me take you on to the next story. Or is it... No, it's you. You take me on to the next story.
Hey... Controversy. Possible first look at Road Ranger and Puffer, which is the White Pipes Huffer thing based on a Brazilian toy, I believe. So this is a leak from the font of Good Taste 4chan, which shows another, like, we've seen this Puffer before. This is just another shot in with the vehicle mode, and we see Road Ranger, and he is broadly the same.
That's just Huffer, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, he's just Huffer with a new head.
Oh, he's got a new head, really?
Yeah, he's because Puffer is based off of a Pipes remold, and it does have some more, like, different chest and things like that, and Road Ranger is just like Huffer with a faceplate.
Oh, see, I wondered if it was a faceplate. I couldn't really tell, but now that you mention it, yeah, it does look like a faceplate. Yeah, okay.
It's a good color scheme, in all honesty.
It's really good.
I think the red on the chest could pop a bit more, but...
yeah, it does get... Well, it's red on orange. Yeah, it does get lost a little bit. You know what would have been... I don't know whether it's a good idea, but I would have preferred it. You crack... Because this is how you make somebody evil. You crack the front shield, and you make that a Decepticon insignia, and you can make him a little friend of the Stunticons. You can make him take around... He can help Motormaster with his great load. You know, he can be their repair team for when the Stunticons get wrecked. He comes in and picks up their, cracked corpses and drags them off. I've already made a more interesting character than this guy probably is.
I don't think Road Ranger is... he's a Micromaster, is he?
Now that you mention it, you're probably right, yeah.
I'm gonna check that. Road Ranger.
There are characters who are like that.
What, short? Short, yes. Is that what you're saying? Short?
Yes, tiny.
Road Ranger. Okay. Oh, Road Ranger's a GoBot.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't have guessed that.
He's a Gobot.
Yeah.
He was released in 2004 in part of the G1 Gobot pack, so he's a repaint of a Huffer into Gobot colors.
Was it part of an eHobby exclusive pack?
Yeah,
or something like that.
And that's where Bug Bite comes from.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So if people remember that one, I've just clicked on the link. It was the eHobby set that had, like Mikey said, Bug Bite. It had Pathfinder in there, Treads, Smallfoot, and Bad Boy, who were all redos of the other mini bots as well.
But I remember this because the thing about these was that most of them were not the same color as the GoBot they were based on.
No,
because like Road Ranger is white and is red, blue, and silver. And Road Ranger in the Transformers is orange and black.
Yeah, and Pathfinder from the show, because I don't remember the toy, was just like red and blue, if I remember right, or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
And the Pathfinder here that was done out of Cosmos is just blue. Obviously, a lot of yellow from Cosmos, and then the red little nipple head. Oddly enough, the image that they've used for this doesn't have the head pulled up at all, which is odd.
No.
I don't know why. I do actually like the color on Treads. It's a bit fucking bland because it's just like army green.
Yeah,
but it works for the tank. That's fair. Okay. You know what? I do like this Road Ranger figure. I think it would be better if you did a little bit more. Maybe don't give him a gun. Maybe give him a pickaxe or something like that.
Yeah, maybe he does. Like, we don't know about his accessories quite yet. There might be a bit more there. Maybe. We can hope. Also, this picture, like, it has been photoshopped, so some of these colors might not be 100% match.
Has it been photoshopped?
Yeah, it had a thing. It had a thing this week. It was this week's latest thing.
Oh, what people were kicking off?
Yeah, it took me a while. Like, basically, it showed up, and then the person who put it on TFW, and I think Cybertron said, like, just, I've heavily photoshopped this. And then just like, why? Because it came off of 4chan, and they didn't want... They decided to take a unique approach to watermarking.
Oh no, what did they do?
It took me about half an hour to actually find the picture, because I was just like, what's going on? Because like the person from 4chan then started saying, please don't remove my watermarks. I do it to earn cred on 4chan.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. You should be removing watermarks, I suppose.
No, but it was a word.
Oh no.
Repeated like basically it would start in the top corner and run across 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 all the way down to the bottom.
Was it something like a nice word?
It was a word that starts with the same letter as nice.
Oh no. Noise.
Yeah, noise. It was noise. They put noise. Like 50 times they put noise.
Oh no. Noise is not a legal word on the internet.
You don't say noise.
No, nothing's noise.
No, especially if you're probably like a 12-year-old nobody on 4chan. But,
no. Oh dear. Well, okay, I was going to say, why would you Photoshop?
Removal of their watermark, which I found very funny.
Okay, it's weird because on one hand I'm like, you shouldn't remove someone's watermark, and then you say that and I'm like, maybe you should.
I would have loved to have seen, like, what was TFW's explanation if they'd said, like, well, we were going to edit this, but we, the guy said specifically, please don't edit my watermark out, but we still have to show you the news.
Oh, well, you know what they would do? They just wouldn't cover it, like they never covered Big Firebird. That's what would happen.
That'll be funny.
Yep.
So, yeah, this was the latest kerfuffle this week. There's always one.
Mm-hmm. There's always one.
But yeah.
Fun times.
Hey, I like Road Ranger. He looks good.
Yeah, no, I'm on board as well. Mikey, shall I take you on to the next story?
Yeah.
One that I think people are happy about, and I'm confused why.
I like elements of it.
Okay.
I'm not excited about it.
Well, we find out what another crossover Transformers product is going to be as Target Fall Geek Out. I don't know what that's meant to be, but that's the thing. We see the Transformers collaborative Draculus mashup reveal. Hooray, says I to thy. So this is the pre-order, as well as the official pre-order for Road Rage have gone up. It's a crossover with the Universal Monsters. Those who are not aware, the Universal Monsters are people like Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, El Mummy, the werewolf,
Creature from the Black
Creature
Lagoon.
from the Black Lagoon, yeah. Those guys. Those lads and ladies.
They were going to have a movie universe until it fell through so fast it made your head spin.
I bet you didn't watch Dracula Untold. Because I did.
Did, actually.
Oh, did you? I'm surprised.
Yeah, I didn't
film.
watch the other one that had... There was someone else in it. Like, Tom Cruise did one?
Oh, yeah, that was The Mummy, which is like...
Yeah.
Man, do you remember the Brendan Fraser Mummy movie? That was a good film.
That was good crack.
Second one, not as much, and then you stop at 2. And you don't go for any spin-off.
Yeah, Scorpion King is a struggle, I'll be honest.
And the Scorpion... I think there was a Scorpion King 2 as well, you know.
Oh, no, Scorpion King got a spin-off movie, which was the origin of the Scorpion King, got just called Scorpion King. It was just
my God.
Dwayne Johnson was trying to really get his career kicking off.
Yeah, I remember watching the Scorpion King and thinking, wow, this is bland. Early days for good old Rocky Maivia Johnson. he got better. He's doing all right for himself.
Oh,
so you know.
Yeah, no, he's doing fine. He was like the highest paid actor at some point.
I think he's still pretty high up there as well. Actually,
yeah. Like, I'll be honest, he's not very good.
He's fine.
He does the job he's paid to, which is stand there and lift things.
Yeah, well, look good, look big.
Yeah, it's just like
look big, good.
I wouldn't hire him for his acting promise.
No, but to be fair, like, if we're going to compare him as another big, attractive person, he's probably better than Arnie was.
Oh, well,
Right?
I'm trying to remember, like... Well,
Arnie was never a good actor.
Arnie was good in the right roles.
Was he?
Ones where you don't have to emote much.
You mean ones where he doesn't act?
Yeah, where he just sort of stands there and says, I now know why you feel pain. I know why you feel love and loss.
Oh, I always thought that line was funny. I now know why you feel pain. As like he's crushing this child's hand with his metal arm.
before letting himself be dropped into a pit of like molten steel with a thumbs up, which is a great scene. But,
it is. I mean, that movie's just
T2
fantastic.
is the best Terminator movie. It's not even arguable.
No. I mean, it's still a fantastic movie just in itself. To be honest, it's still great. There was another movie that came out the same year. It was Hook. Hook came out the same year as Terminator 2, believe it or not. Yeah.
Wow. I know.
Yeah.
I think I saw Hook first.
Yeah, well, yeah, that makes sense. Unsurprisingly, it did not do as well as Terminator. They were both nominated for like best effects, and unsurprisingly, Terminator 2 won because it still looks great. Like when the T-1000 goes through the bars. That's still a really good effect. It still looks high quality. What a film. Good times.
High quality.
And then there are other Terminator movies. I accept Terminator 1. I don't love it, but it's like it's low budget. It's still got some good stuff in there.
I see why T1 got the attention it did at the time.
Yes, I still think it's good. I just think it's more aged and it's much more obvious that it doesn't have a huge budget to it.
I think I'd say like Terminator 1 is a cult classic. Terminator 2 is just a classic.
I wonder if that's fair. I don't know.
Like, I think it's a good movie. I really like it, but I do not think it has... I don't think it's a movie I just said, like, watch this because it's amazing. Like, I would say watch Terminator 2 because it's very good at what it does.
I think, like, Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 is kind of like Alien and Aliens. It's effectively the same movie in both times, in both examples.
It's completely
but they've got way more different budgets, and the tone of the films are very different. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't, like, if you say you want a horror film, Terminator 1 is probably the one you want to go for. Oh, yeah,
definitely.
And if you want a more, like, action-based... because... Back in the day, Terminator 2 was what a blockbuster was. It wasn't just a popcorn film, because I wouldn't want to describe Terminator 2 as just a popcorn flick.
No, it's quite intelligent.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in there. It's got some great action, but it's also like, oh no, things make sense. It's fairly smart. It's pretty to look at. It's like it ticks all the boxes, like Jurassic Park does as well. Yeah.
It just touches on the idea, like, why would a child find the idea of a robot father figure appealing?
Yeah, totally.
Like, even when that, like, for most of the film, the robot is emotionless.
Yeah. Well, like most fathers, I suppose.
Oh, God.
Potentially. But no, yeah, back in the day, blockbusters
Daddy
used to mean.
to my ball games.
To be fair, I'm not sure you'd want Arnie to come to your ball games.
I will throw the ball, and I will throw you. Wow.
You are doing it wrong. Do not cry.
You must feel like you are coming, child.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You must go to the gym and feel like you are coming.
Back in the day, a blockbuster didn't mean just popcorn. It used to mean quality.
Yeah, that's why Jaws is one of the most successful blockbusters of all time.
Yeah.
And Star Wars. I like, as much as I don't love Star Wars, it's very good at what it does.
Oh, no, agreed. Yeah.
And then they made more.
They made a lot more. And I get why. I get
they
why.
Shouldn't have.
No. But no, we haven't actually talked about this crossover figure.
No, we have no news today, by the way, guys. We're just stalling for time.
Well, fun conversations as well. It's fun to talk, I hear. So this is a figure that is going to be Dracula out of Mindwipe. The Titans Return Mindwipe. Not a huge surprise. It also comes with a material cape because I
was going to say he's Batman, but he's Dracula.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't have cared either way. No, I was thinking, would I have preferred this if it was Batman? I'm like, no, I wouldn't have given a shit either way, to be honest. Just because I'm sick of seeing Batman, as you are as well. Let's be fair. The packaging apparently is meant to look like an old VHS case, and feels like a stretch for them to say so. But the box does open up like a VHS sleeve.
Extra, like there was another story that showed like the individual, like obviously someone already has this, but like there's the extra details, like on the side of the box you've got like the tape sticker, like have the name of the tape, and you've also got like the tab, the recording tab.
Okay, so there is a bit more to it than what's shown here. In this case,
is not broken off.
Ooh, this could be re-recorded over.
Yeah, you can ruin this movie.
Oh no, yeah. I don't think I ever broke the tabs off my VHSs.
I did, but only when I was like, okay, I've taped all the show I want to keep, and if my parents tape over this, I'll kill them.
Oh my god. That's extreme, but fair enough. Pre-order should go live in a few days or hours, and then it's got it crossed out for some reason. I don't know why. I'm guessing the pre-orders
are live now.
They're live now. He's going to cost $32, which might be a little high. I don't know. It's an exclusive,
standard for deluxe exclusive these days.
Yeah, you're probably right. And it's coming out officially on the 28th of November. So yeah, the only new accessory is he has a new sculpted chest, he has a new head, and then he has a cape. And then effectively the color scheme is black, a grayish black, the white on the not the tuxedo parts, but the white parts of whatever you want to call that outfit.
I mean, it's a... No, it was a tuxedo.
Was that a tuxedo? It was a bit more flamboyant than a tuxedo.
Yeah, he was a vampire.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like an official sexy name for it instead of just a tuxedo.
A lapel.
Yeah, well, that's like
he has
part
lapels,
of it.
But...
Yeah, he does have lapels. Yes, no, you are right. I remember I saw this and I saw a load of people being like, "Oh, that's really cool," and me just going like, I just do not care. What a weird crossover. I think it looks like one of the.
It is tuxedo. I just checked.
Oh, it is tuxedo. Well, there you go, tuxedo. Yeah, first time. Is it one of the worst ones, at least from my point of view, for crossovers? I mean,
first of all, you have to why are you not connecting with this guy?
I just think it looks kind of lame. I think it's because it reminds me more of a Transformers crossover Star Wars figure than it does any of the more positive crossover ones, like the Jurassic Park one or the Back to the Future one. This just feels a bit too random and without much thought behind it, because it's like, oh, let's do what can we do Mindwipe into? Not much, but we could make him into Dracula. Why? Because he's a vampire. I mean, he's transformed vampire anyway, so it's not like a huge stretch to turn him into Dracula and just kind of give him a very flat color scheme. There's no red on there, and I'm sure I suppose in some versions of Dracula he had red on him. Not all of them.
Red on the fangs or something would be nice.
Yeah. Just more on the body, just to give it a bit more pop, but no.
I could easily see this being a series, because, you could definitely, Skullcruncher into Creature from the Black Lagoon, Weirdwolf into the Wolfman.
Sure,
And
yeah.
Who's the last one? Who am I forgetting?
No, they only had 3.
I thought they had 4.
No, there's 4 Autobot ones and 3 Decepticon ones.
So, like, you could probably find someone who you do, like, do Hardhead into Frankenstein.
Yeah, sure.
But so I could easily see you do, like, the core 4, if you wanted to. Like, I think that would, like, I like the idea of this. I do. I like the idea of referencing classic movie monsters in a fun way. And I think, like, not so much in the promo shots, but in the leaked, in the stolen Chinese toy shots, the tuxedo does work.
Okay.
So I think that kind of, I don't really like the head sculpt, and the cape doesn't look too bad when it's in robot mode. The hands.
It looks really bad in bat mode, though.
Yeah,
why is it even attachable in bat mode?
Yeah, no, that's dumb. I think that's dumb, and I don't like the bat mode either. I just
what don't you like about the bat mode?
The color scheme. I don't like how it works at all. But this is something I really want to like, because I like classic movie monsters and all that stuff. But
100%.
And I'm just like, oh man, I was more interested in this when I saw it, when I heard about it than when I saw it.
Yeah, the idea is probably more interesting than the actual thing that we get, I guess.
Oh wow. The leaked Chinese toy one is not a leaked Chinese toy. It's one that was bought in Canada at Collection Mania, who sold it for $55. $55 US. 70 Canadian.
So it is. So they did do a markup on it, but it's, I guess, is it a massive markup?
$20, almost twice the price.
I mean, if you're a toy collector video person, and you're fairly well known, maybe you'd make your money back on that, I guess.
Pre-street date, it's already been knocked up.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems weird that anybody would rush for it, but clearly someone did.
Well, I could, like, it's unique and weird.
It is.
Like, weird factor will sell this more than anything else. And I do, like I said, I want to like it. I just don't think it turned out crazy good.
I'm more negative on this than you, but I think your reasoning it kind of flows with mine. I just like it way less.
Yeah.
I would much prefer the Jurassic Park set than this thing. Obviously, that it's not entirely a fair. Okay. A more fair comparison would be I'd prefer the DeLorean over this.
Yeah,
that's a more fair comparison.
I think the DeLorean, or say the Ghostbusters one, the Ectotron. I think they went to like extra lengths.
Yeah, even kind of the X-Men thing as well.
Yeah, I saw that in Smiths recently.
Were you tempted?
No, God, not for that price.
Okay.
€80? No, thanks.
Suck a cock. That's what Mikey said as he walked out. Flipping the bird at children. Them being very confused and the mothers being horrified. Right. I don't think there's anything else to say for this. Mikey, you may I left this one specificfly for you because you are the Cyberverse boy.
Yep, so Cyberverse have revealed images of the upcoming Warrior Snarl, Power/Dinobot Snarl. So this is
Power/.
So kind of like a few other recent Warrior reveals, this doesn't seem to have a built-in gimmick.
Oddly enough, no.
But it does. A Power/ is he comes with a sword. And I'm hoping the tail does something as well, because the tail is completely removable, so I'm hoping it has some function.
And it looks like it's one solid piece as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I really hope it does something, or else that just kind of feels like, well, warrior class cheapness. But anyway, we see them in robot mode. He looks like he's got all the basics for articulation, which, again, for warrior mode is kind of a win. For warrior class. And the actual sculpt looks fairly well put together. Paint looks good. And the face sculpt is nice. And then we see him in his Stegosaurus mode, and it's a sort of simplified version of the character model, like missing a lot of paint apps and colors. But the actual sculpt looks nice. I
heard a lot of people saying, and I agree with them, that the robot mode looks, oddly enough, very similar to the Action Master. And when I heard that, I was like, yep, definitely does.
Absolutely. Like, particularly because, like, you don't have the tail on either side. It really changes the silhouette.
Yeah, totally.
But no,
is he meant to have that in the show? I can't remember. I mean, he hasn't obviously appeared in the show.
No, we don't. This is our first look at him. This is our first look at the design. But I think he looks fun. If he's warrior class and cheap, he'd definitely be worth a punt, I'd say. He's been like, there's a lot of re-releases of other older warrior figures like Starscream and Windblade, and he looks so much better than them.
Yeah, I saw the rest of I guess what would be called the wave, and it's just Shockwave from like the first wave, Bumblebee, I assume, from the first wave,
1.
Starscream again from the first wave. Then you've got Hammerbite, who was
Hammerbite, who was
more recent one, who
He's
again
supposed
looks
to
a
be
lot
good.
better.
He is supposed to be good.
Yeah, to be fair, he looks a lot better because he looks like his only gimmick is he has a little flip-up helmet instead of like fucking Starscream, who's a fucking trash fire. From what I saw. And a Windblade as well. You can tell which ones are the later ones and which ones are the earlier ones. Hey, get rid of the gimmicks and the Transformer becomes 100 times better. Who knew?
Yep. But yeah, Hammerbite was always weird to me, of just like, we wanted to do Skybite, basically. But we already had Skybite in the show, so...
Yeah.
And I don't think Skybite got a decent toy. I think he got...
Wasn't it like a even more basic than Warrior one?
Yeah, he had a simple one, but it was like one that had the armor up option. Like you had like a construction vehicle you glued onto him, which because like him, Grimlock, Jetfire, Optimus, Megatron, I think they all got one of those.
Oh, what was it? Oh, fuck! Why can't I remember his name? The guy from Beast Wars, Triple Changer, who fought Rampage all the time.
Oh, Depth Charge.
Death Charge. Why not call him Depth Charge?
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Oddly enough, I think when the Hammerhead gimmick goes up, he kind of reminds me more of the concept art of Skybite from Animated.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, not 100%, obviously, but just because that had a sharky head as well. Yeah, I wish Hammerbite had a bit more of an interesting color scheme, and maybe not a crown. But yeah, no, Snarl looks really solid for a warrior. It's a shame it's a warrior. It seems like all the interesting Cyberverse stuff again has no budget towards it, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's I guess the way of Cyberverse. How many more do we have left to see? I think we've seen a good majority of the Dinobots now, right?
We've seen an Ultra Sludge. We've seen an Ultra Volcanicus. We've seen Deluxe Snarl. I think Slug is a Deluxe, I believe.
I think you're right, yeah.
And
no, he is, yeah, because we talked about that one last week.
Yeah, and then, like, we haven't seen the toy, but we know what the design is for Swoop. And it's kind of quite neat. It's got, like, twin tails, quite, like, or not twin tails, it's got a big long tail, rather. But, yeah, so they're coming out, like, we're getting looks at them, and still no word or trailer or anything for the movies themselves.
Yeah, still nothing. Well, actually, do you think it'll be October when we have that Hasbro panel thingamabob coming up?
Maybe.
Because after, if we are getting that Cyberverse thing, I guess it would make the most sense to kind of wait and show us at that thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be some more releases that we see and go.
At the moment, for me, we're still in this rather strange place of just like, we've got a decent sized toy line now for things you haven't technically publicly announced.
yeah, no advertisement, no. Haven't they had any kind of public announcement? None.
I think
only,
there was
only that it's being made, right? That's the only thing.
And there was a very brief summary that showed up on some TV website, but really obscure.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah,
it's almost like the Shang-Chi kind of thing. It was get all the toys out before the actual item comes out first, and see how that does, and that usually doesn't end well.
Seen that.
Shang-Chi, I hear it's. Why would you want to see it?
I don't know.
Do you want do you want to add another
I heard it
was
a kung fu. Basically, I heard it was a kung fu movie, and I was a bit more interested. And then I heard it and then it turned into a CGI fest at the end, and I lost all interest.
I just watched The Raid. Have you seen The Raid?
Yes.
Okay, watch it again.
Watch any 80s kung fu movie.
That'll do too. To be honest. Yeah, good old Marvel.
Yeah.
People like it's only me and you that don't like him for the most part.
No, it's becoming a lot more of a thing.
Oh, are we becoming more accepted now?
We are becoming, basically, it's kind of like Eva. There's now an approaching 50-50 split, but it's just
oh my god. People don't like Evangelion now. Oh my god.
Apparently, people don't like Evangelion, Andy.
My god, people are finally getting on the train that we've been on for years.
No, I found out for years, it turns out there's been this really vocal anti-Evangelion crowd. It's just they're not the ones posting on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
But they a really big thing. Evangelion has a really 50-50 divide in the anime fandom. I didn't realize that until
I didn't think that was the case. I thought I thought it was 100% Evangelion is the shit.
People hate Shinji. People hate the show. People people complain about the animation, and I'm sorry, I can't give you that. But
no, I wouldn't give that. Well, apart from the last episode when they had no money.
Yeah, because they spent it all.
I'd say okay then.
Because they spent it all and had no ending because they spent it all and were stalling for a movie they were trying to get a budget for at the time.
I actually heard, I mean, this is a side story, Mikey. I watched Toy Galaxy's little retrospective kind of explanation of Masked Rider.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you hear the horrifying news that it might be that guy, the Evangelion guy who did Shin Godzilla, might be doing a Shin Kamen Rider for the West?
Andy, I hate to tell you this, but Hideki Anno has already confirmed he is doing Shin Kamen Rider after Shin Ultraman.
Oh, no.
So it'll probably go as well as Kamen Rider the first and the next, to be honest.
You liked Shin, though. You liked Shin Godzilla, and I thought Shin Godzilla was fine.
I thought Shin Godzilla had good moments.
I thought you liked it a lot more, to be honest.
It falls into the good moments category for me, because I think a lot of it's quite... I think the first half of it's quite silly, and I think it's kind of like The Dark Knight in a way, because it's like, oh wow, there's these bits that everyone remembers, and then defines the whole movie by. And like the political side of things, it just doesn't, it didn't click with me the way it did with some people.
I think for me, I always found the political stuff interesting as a concept, but not as something I liked watching, because it kind of drives, like someone gave me a bit of toast. It's like, I understand how this bit of toast is made. I don't need to watch how it's made, though. Yeah,
and it also, like, it doesn't help. I'm not a big fan of the Shin design.
No.
It's very much.
You know what? It's not. It's not the 2000s Godzilla design. Or Final Wars design.
Yeah, but that's because, those were joy.
That's right. Even though some people don't like it because it looks a bit too much like a cat. Is that
right? Yeah, I always find it hilarious. I can never see his eyes.
But yeah, because
whenever
he's
I watch
angry. He's so angry, that bro.
He's got such angry eyebrows. You cannot see his eyes except when they're lit. So it's like he's like this blind monk.
Yes. You know how people develop humps over the years if they keep leaning forward?
Yeah.
That's how he developed that brow. He was so fucking pissed off for so long. His brow is just like morphed down. Easy peasy. This is how we build lore. Right. I don't think there's any other news this week, is there, Mr. Mikey?
Not for me.
Then, Mr. Mikey, what have you been up to this week? What have you done for fun, son?
What did I do? I watched the PlayStation 5 showcase that went on.
That was disappointing, as most of them are.
It was. There were. I would like. It was basically just trailers. And like
I think how many games trailers were there that you were actually interested in? Because I would say for me a successful show is if there's more than 2 that I actually care about.
Okay, so obviously one of the big ones was God of War.
Yes.
See, I'm interested in Spider-Man 2, but that was it wasn't the trailer that did it. I was just already interested in Spider-Man 2.
Sure.
No interest in Wolverine until I see a bit more of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with actually, but I mean, Spider-Man, we probably know it's going to be good. I don't know about the story. That's the most important thing.
Yep.
Wolverine, fucking who knows, right?
It's the same company that did Spider-Man, which I am...
That doesn't mean anything to me.
No.
I don't trust companies.
No, obviously not. But, it is that thing of just, at least there's probably someone there who wants to do a good job.
Yeah.
Whether they're on the game is a different thing.
Oddly enough, if it's close to... Do you ever play Wolverine Origins, the game? Because that was actually...
years ago.
It was really basic, but quite fun. Story was stressed, though.
Yeah. What was it? Uncharted 4, I wasn't interested in. Ghostwire,
No.
Tried way too hard. Forspoken, I was vaguely...
Which one's that?
It's the Isekai one. Lady's arm is talking to her.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
The gameplay looked solid. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I like the look of the gameplay on that. KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, I was actually toying with getting a hold of a copy and playing it anyway. So... I mean, I've never actually played KOTOR, even though I hear it's the classic BioWare RPG.
Yeah, I played 2, and it was okay. It got a little bit.
I hear 2 is much worse.
Yeah, the story was okay enough, but it got a little bit too BioWare-y. Mass Effect 1 BioWare. It was too much of that. I'd be interested in a KOTOR 1, I suppose. My concern is what changes they'll make, I suppose, because they will make changes. And when I say changes, I mean to the story. Change the gameplay, whatever. Don't care.
If you want to do a remaster where just we've updated all the graphics, that's fine. Then but I despise when you edit what you do is a straight if you're doing a full-on remake, I'm giving you leeway. If you're saying we're redoing it so that you can play the original game, and then it turns out hey, we removed all this really 90s stuff from it. And just like, no,
Yeah.
increase the 90s stuff. More 90s stuff.
You know for a fact, though, they'll say it's just replay KOTOR, but with better graphics and better gameplay, but it won't be that. It'll be changed like I know it wasn't an issue for you, but it'll be changed like Final Fantasy VII was, and things were just changed for what I would consider the worst, and so obviously some people would consider the better. But it'll be, I think it'll be more that than it will be just a let's make the game and the gameplay better. Don't touch the story, please.
So once I find out a bit more about it, I'll decide if I want to just go for KOTOR, the original, and try that out. But yeah, God of War was the big exciting thing for me there, because like that game was fucking amazing, and I just don't fuck it up. That's all you have to do.
Boy.
Don't.
We need
fuck
more
it up.
Boys. If he doesn't say boy, it's a failure.
Oh yeah,
1 out of 10.
but it's gonna be like he's gonna call him boy. I'm like, I'm not a boy, and we're just like, Kratos is like at least 1,000 years old right now, and you're like, what, 15?
Kratos picks him up, breaks his back over his knee, and he goes, boy.
Yeah. Boy. Kratos only communicates in boy. But yeah, I'm definitely interested. Like, I read some new stuff from that, and like, okay, we're doing all 9 realms and blah blah blah. And just like, okay, just do the story.
That's concerning.
Yeah,
right?
Well, like they did like extra realms in the first one, and they were like boss arenas and stuff like that.
I was gonna say, yeah, because the extra realms were not. They were very brief from what I remember.
The interesting thing to me was that I heard them say this is the end of the Norse saga for God of War. I was expecting another game. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems quick, potentially.
Yeah, but also people are really mad about the Thor design, but I just don't care.
I can see why. I don't like Fat Thor either, and you know, the Marvel movies are the things that made me not like Fat Thor.
Yeah, it's kind of tainted. Like, it makes sense in the context of what they're doing.
Yes.
But it's also like, all I can think of is that fucking loser.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. Isn't it funny? It's like,
Yeah. Look, he's with 2 characters who I hated from Ragnarok, and they're playing games online, and they're threatening to come to people's houses and being very toxic.
Yeah. Oof.
Ooh, yeah. Showed him. Made that 12-year-old cry. Ha! Taika Waititi is a genius.
People like him though.
They're wrong. No, I'm actually comfortable with that one. I don't need to change that one. That's wrong. So yeah, I watched that. Did a bit of catching up on my comics, so I caught up on Turtles and I caught up on Power Rangers.
Oh, neat.
Power Rangers.
You must have had quite a few, right? A few issues to go through.
Yeah, basically, I did a few evenings of it. I'm enjoying Turtles. I'm liking where Turtles is at. It's very different, but it's a very interesting take on basically what happens when someone fucks over a lot of people. And it looks like some consequences are coming in, but they won't kill Old Hob. They'll never kill Old Hob, no matter how much sometimes I want them to. But Power Rangers has made a choice, which I'm really curious about where that's going. They're introducing a new Ranger.
Oh, okay.
And it's been advertised a ton, so it's not like a super spoiler, so I'm just going to say it, it is a space lion.
Okay.
That looks like a space lion. That when transformed is a space lion.
Oh, so not a person.
I'll get a picture.
Right. Okay.
What's their name? Yale. That's their name.
Yale the lion.
Yale the space lion.
Okay.
So, because there was a big arc, like the Omega arc in the Power Rangers, it was like lost a Ranger because they went evil.
Oh my god.
And then, like, apparently the fundamental laws of nature have decided that they're going to get the cat to come in instead.
Oh, fair enough.
I need to open you, and then Ranger. Yeah. So, it's one of those things I think is going to be really arc dependent.
Okay, fair enough.
I
don't think you've ever said any issues with the artwork before for Power Rangers, I guess that's
good.
Probably likely to be nice still, I would guess.
I'll just, this is much easier, because for some reason it's trying to copy in a weird format. Like, Power Rangers has gone insane in the last week, they're bringing back Lord Zed.
Yeah, I saw, and I was like, oh, that's...
I gotta laugh.
Clearly, it's a new suit because it looks nice.
Also,
and it doesn't look like it's dying.
He ripped off his cloak, and his Zed was all springy, and I kept on laughing.
His what was all springy?
You know his Z that sticks up at the
Oh,
top?
on the top of his head?
Yeah.
It was oh no.
It's
It was
very,
springy.
Just watch that scene and just watch it go to poing.
That is more the Cheshire Cat than it is a lion.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
It's weird. Also, the ranger art there, like I've seen other ones, this makes it look way more humanoid. It's other art, like it's just like that suit around a big cat.
Right.
So, but Yale doesn't talk.
Oh.
So I'm curious to see how this will play out.
Okay.
So yeah, but Boom Power Rangers still very good. Anime wise, not a lot this week because once again the catch up was fucked over by my actual real life because I'm back doing a ton of things this week and I am way behind already. But I caught Kobayashi, which was the important thing. That's still really fun. Why is the animation so good? Why?
Because it's made by a really good animation company. They usually only do life animes. What are they called? Daily life animes.
Who seem to have like this secret cadre of like top level action animators who have just been sitting there waiting for an opportunity to do it.
Yeah, there's probably some people who are like, we would really like to not do slice of life all the time. Can we do something really fancy? And they go, Dragon Maid will do. It's like, yeah, we'll do something. We'll release all of our creative juices on this.
Yeah, it was weird. It's weird, but it's fucking gorgeous. And the story, I really like the writing in Kobayashi. I think it's really well put together. So there's that. Revised episode 2 came out today.
Yes.
Watch that. That is in the very typical, I'm working with a monster and now I need to make them promise not to go kill people stage. Which
was it heavy CGI episode 2?
Nope. Not particularly. There was CGI in it, but there's a lot because they do quite a lot of form reveals in this one. Because they have the eagle form, the eagle form's sort of mech mode, and then they have the T-Rex mech mode.
Right.
Which they very much are aware of the fact it's a very silly combination.
Well, that's good. At least they know.
And they are highlighting it. But like it's a CGI thing in a Sentai and a Kamen Rider. You ain't going to see much of it. But story was solid. A lot more humor in this one, but like I didn't feel it like got in the way of the story. And like I said, the story is basically, hey, he wants to kill people. What do I do about this? If I've got to work with him. It's like, they did it with Momo, they did it with Ankh. I'm personally hoping for more of an Ankh route than a Momo route, which is like, will you do what I say? Yeah, next episode. No.
From the feel of the tone of the show, do you think it's going to be more Momo, or do you think it's going to be... Granted, it's only episode 2, so it's maybe
it's goofy at times, but it's got like heavier moments mixed in.
Okay, so it's too early to judge what the tone is.
Okay. Absolutely. Like, I saw some people say, like, this feels too comedic and everything else, and I was just like, 1, Deno, and 2, I would disagree. I think, especially when I read an interview yesterday, it was, where, like, oh, we picked this writer because he tends to write really dark stuff. It's like, okay, now I'm just waiting for a Urobuchi moment.
That's interesting.
So, yeah. But no, fight choreography is really good. Really, really solid in it. And I like the new form. Eagle, it's the double-based one. Also, I was curious how they pull it off. They do not even once draw attention to the fact that it is based off of double.
Oh.
It's got no bearing. It's just an aesthetic thing.
Weird. I guess that's good, though.
I prefer it. Also, the opening was in there. The opening does have one thing which shows, like, the guy who made the driver in front of 3 tubes which have the silhouettes of Black, Ichigo, and Kuga.
Oh, okay, right.
Which I suppose you could see as the generational points.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's narrative or it's just going to be like, oh, whatever. But the opening's interesting. It's a bit hip-hop rock for me.
I wasn't sure how to feel. Yeah. Like, I remember when I watched the X-Aid one back when it first came out, it didn't hit, and by the end I was like,
by the end you're just going like, exercise.
Exactly. I'm wondering if I'll get the feel from here as well, but it's not an initial banger like Gaim. No. I think Gaim was an initial banger straight out the gate.
But what it has like
0-1 as well. That was a pretty good banger.
Yeah, 0-1's got a great one. But I would say like it has some good beats in it. Like I think the opening's really nice. Like the bit, not before they start singing, but it's a horrible way to say it, before they start singing, the actual musical build-up, like, I think is really good.
It's weird. It feels like there's not a huge payoff for the build-up in terms of the build-up goes, and then it just kind of goes, instead of like the roller coaster of going, whoa, now we've got a good beat drop.
Yeah, and also, like, I will say, music aside, I really liked the actual opening.
Okay, the visuals. The visuals were really, really nice. I definitely think there was a... You know when they were showing the human cast all smiling?
Yeah, that has that weird Japanese smiley vibe, doesn't it?
The problem was, like, it didn't match the tone of the music. The music felt quite sinister.
Yeah.
They're all smiling. It's like, what's going on?
And then it felt like, but then, like, the rest of the opening's quite dark.
That's the thing. So does that mean all of these people who are smiling, we're going to have, like, in, like, 20 episodes, they're all going to be, like, covered in blood and dying in the intro?
Well, one of them is a father in a Kamen Rider story.
Oh, yeah, he's probably going to die.
Or he's a monster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Final boss is Happy Dad.
I mean, they're usually the good stories when that happens.
Oh, yeah. Evil Rider Dad. Also, the most, as I said, the most square-jawed man alive.
Oh, yeah, Jesus. Holy crap.
Yeah, but no, there was some weird stuff, like, I think that was supposed to be the main character in a business suit on fire.
Oh, really?
Which I didn't think it was, but I saw a HD version, I was just like, oh, it is him.
Oh, okay.
Are they pulling that thing what they did with where they said, like, oh, we're going to just put this bit of imagery in and please make up a story part for it later on when you have time?
I hope there's like, it's not that, but there is a reason for it.
Maybe
it does mean something instead of like with this, and it's just like, like you figure it out.
Yeah, and they're just like towards the end, oh shit, we need something to put into the COVID break. Yeah, sure, evil clone.
Yeah,
shut up. But no, I'm enjoying Revice. I think it for the opening two-parter, I think it's pretty strong.
Okay.
Not perfect. Got some flaws, got some storytelling flaws here and there, but it's setting up a lot of, like, character archetypes. Like, I think it's interesting what they're setting up with the brother. I think it's interesting what they're setting up with the main character. It's quite violent. There's a lot of blood and bruising in this one, which surprised me. So yeah, no, I'm pretty pleased with Revice at the moment.
A little bit more pleased than your other Kamen Rider watching this week.
So since I started watching Saber back in day. And I watched 4 episodes, and I said, this feels weird in Sentai.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stopped. And I kept on meaning to go back to it for a year. But yesterday evening, I basically said, like, fuck it, I'm just going to get it out of the way now, because I'm putting it off. So I decided to, at least, because it's divided into arcs. So I said, okay, I'll watch the first arc, and I'll watch the first episode of the next arc. Right? So, it's very Sentai. First arc is very, very Sentai. I've had a lot of... I would look at some information as well. It has a lot... Like, they rewrote 4 or 5 episodes after they'd been filmed. Okay. Which would probably explain, like, the very heavy use of CGI in the opening episodes. And stock footage. And stuff like that. Stuff they don't have to film on location or anything like that.
Right.
But then they kept that. And it didn't go away. And it was... What this show does is frequently pause. And either have a stop motion scene... Or have, like, they'll open the books and the books will give their full explanation of what they are. And these go on for 30 to 40 seconds.
Oh.
So, like, and they'll just be standing there with the book faced at the screen.
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah. Basic story is a bit bland. And, like, I don't, like, there's the bad guys. The bad guys want to do something. Caliber has a plan. We find out what the plan is. The plan is bare ass bone bitch until like the very last scene of it where we get like, and this is why he did it, and there's something else to lead into the next arc. Villains are very bad.
Really?
Time Jack are bad.
Sorry, what do you mean Time Jack are bad?
The Geo villains, remember them?
I know, because I never watched
they
Geo because I heard it was not great.
They were the worst villains I could think of before in terms of like humanoid speaking villain roles.
Mm-hmm.
These are as bad, I think. The McGee are just incredibly bland. They've got an okay aesthetic, very normal. Again, a bit Sentai-y in some ways, but their just execution is boring.
Oh, okay.
15 episodes, and all they've done is say we want to take over the world. They've come out for a few fights. And the big disappointment was Caliber. Caliber was a big disappointment. Like, he's the best looking suit.
Is he the purple rider?
Yeah, he's the best looking suit in the show.
Yeah, he looks great.
He is as bland as McGee, and like, he's even got like, episode 10 reveal, and it's a reveal everyone already figured out, but because like, hey, it's you. Oh my god, he was using a voice changer. Of course it's someone we knew already. And who else? Who could it be? Like, we all know how this plays out. But like, he's just got no character or drive. And then at the end they say, like, a bit like Jiren, actually, from Dragon Ball. It's just like, and then in the last 5 seconds they go like, and this is his motivation. It's like, you don't do that at the very end of a story arc.
No, never do that. It's a terrible idea. Always bad.
Really disappointing. His upgrade form's alright. It's a bit busy. But yeah, and most of the characters are fairly standard and bland. Secondary rider is kind of not, functionally. It mostly goes to Kento, who's the yellow rider in it.
Okay. So he's the secondary rider.
Yeah,
really.
But going forward, I think it's going to be the blue guy is secondary again. But like,
of course, because you still haven't finished it yet. You are still going through it.
But structurally, it is very much Sentai because you think about them in colors. Not like It took me a few minutes there to remember what their names were supposed to be, like the rider names.
Oh,
because it's Espada and Blades. But I don't remember what the black one's name is.
Oh, that's a shame.
Which is really bad. Or Pink is Slash. And it's definitely let down by bad acting or bad direction. I don't know which, but Slash is probably the best performance. Slash and the Black Rider, whose name is Ogami. Like, the character name is Ogami. I'll say that. Like, they're Tetsuo and Ogami. They're the strongest actors, I think, of the bunch.
Okay.
But the actual, like, main rider doesn't give a great performance. Secondaries don't give a great performance. They're very one note. There's a really annoying other rider who's the green guy, and he is really annoying. The female main character is trying to be Akiko. You know, like, Akiko was really, really wacky and weird, but she, like, still plot relevant.
That's right, yeah.
This is, what if Akiko couldn't act? Or at least, what if Akiko wasn't as good at the role? Because that's not fair, because she is one of the better actors in the show. And
she can be. She has some good moments, yeah.
And wasn't as plot relevant as Akiko. Like, that's not a great thing.
No, not particularly.
And then episode 16 happens, which was, as I said online 5 times, the biggest load of nonsense I've ever seen in Kamen Rider.
Yeah, why was that?
So, episode 15. They've defeated a traitor to the Order, the Sword of Logos. They've come together. The entire arc is about friendship and how we're a team and we're a Super Sentai team and we all love each other and aren't we great? And we fight with the power of friendship, right? Right? Episode 16, a woman who none of them seem to know, but who says, I'm from the boss, goes, did you know Saber's going to betray you? Saber wouldn't do that.
Oh my god.
I don't know. He was alone with that guy for like 5 minutes. Chain of betrayal? He could betray. I'm giving a play-by-play of what actually happens on screen. She says he might betray you with no convincing. Everyone does a complete 180 and is like, oh my god, you must give us your powers. I can't. I've got to find the traitor. He's looking for a traitor. He must be the traitor because he's blind with magic power. And then there's a big fight scene where they nearly kill the female lead because...
This all coming from a woman that they don't know.
No one knows her except the female lead. She knows her because she met her once.
Is there an explanation to why these people trust this person that they don't know?
She says she's from the other base and she's going to be their boss.
So the answer is no. There's no reason to trust her.
And like the last episode was, this is our great friend who we will die for. The next episode, including some of the worst overacting I have seen in years.
Oh, wow.
There is a moment where someone just starts screaming, and I just stared.
To be fair, I sometimes just scream.
Yeah, but you can act better than that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was actually shocked. I was genuinely shocked by how... And then they introduce a new rider at the very end, who's like on his side still. But who is a sword. Who doesn't have a sword. He turns into a sword. So he's kind of pulling a Kyria. Well, I mean, Kyria made it work, but Kyria was amazing.
That's the thing. That's the
Like,
difference.
They also tried to pull the Kyria arc and fuck it up. But it was... I'm actually stunned by how badly put together that was. Like, I've never seen...
It can't get worse, can it?
I'm sure it can. I'm sure, because, like, this is the start of an arc. So we're going to have a whole arc of this shit.
Okay.
Like... They didn't write a convincing argument. They didn't build up to him. He wasn't doing anything, and people were acting like, "Oh, or it wasn't the case." Like the last episode ended, and everyone was a little weird about him for a few minutes, and this was just like her playing on their suspicions. They were all like best buddies until they were going to have a New Year's party. They were all best buddies. They come down a set of stairs. This woman they've never met says like, "You want to watch him?" And they're willing to try and attack him with sharp objects. So I'm not loving it. I'm probably going to keep going until the first upgrade. Oh, the first, like, the episode 20 upgrade or whatever it is.
Sure.
But if it gets much dumber, I'm definitely dropping it full stop, and I do not need to see the rest of the show.
Wow.
And because I listened to a review, and some people were like really defending it and saying like, "Wow, it's early stuff with the blue guy," and like setting him up as a teacher figure. And I'm just like, that was 2 episodes. He was then forgotten until they needed him for someone else's arc. This female character who's really good. That was for 2 episodes. Until she was forgotten. Until they needed her for someone else. Do you see the pattern emerging? Like, I was genuinely shocked at how bad that episode was. I would say it's the worst Kamen Rider episode I've seen. And
that's bad.
That is really bad.
Yeah,
like,
considering
and it's not
like some of the bad stuff that we've had in the past.
And it's not like it's bad because of poor execution, or it's bad because of a good idea that got wasted. It's bad because it was a bad idea they did very badly with the wrong cast. Like, nothing about that episode worked. And it's not even like she's a like seemingly friendly person. She's so fucking shady. She could not be more... Like, she's wearing all black and talks really low and doesn't blink. But I'm sure they'll trust her over the guy who just saved the world. It's not good. It's not good. Saber is very likely to be something I like. I will probably not finish Saber.
Did you ever hear anybody saying glowing stuff about the game? I don't remember ever hearing people being like, "This game's amazing."
I've seen people say good things about it, but I've never seen an argument beyond "I like it."
Okay, fair enough.
And like, there are things but you know what? This is the other thing. Fight choreography is bad.
I remember that from like the first 2 episodes, which were the only 2 I saw. I remember thinking this looked pretty rough for a show. I remember the only positive I ever had for granted the only first 2 episodes were the suits look really good.
Yep.
And that was about it.
Really special effects heavy. Like, maybe it's a COVID thing, because I know budget is a big thing in this episode, in this series, because they got lanced with it. But
yeah.
But like,
that doesn't excuse storytelling, though. Obviously,
no, God no. I would compare it to Wizard, where Wizard had swords because of the nature of Wizard's powers and everything. Punching wasn't really an option, so he used a sword a lot. And that had excellent fight choreography. One of Wizard's biggest redeeming elements is how good the fights are, and they're really, really well put together. This is the exact opposite. They've got the same limitation of we're all using swords, but it's just like badly executed. There's bad editing. There's rapid editing when there doesn't need to be. They're prop failures. Like, one of the swords is supposed to be this big Buster sword, but the actual like combat version is a really badly done copy of the standard version.
Oh, is that to make it like more acceptable for like a roleplay toy for the kids?
Well, the thing is like so you got like the close-up shots. And not even that close up, actually, but it's like, oh, I'm standing there in my action shot, and he's holding like the replica, and it's like all detailed and stuff. And then he's got the action one, which is supposed to be safe and stuff, so you can hit people and not kill them. But like, the size of the sword, and there's no detail on the action one, so it's really easy to spot, and it's made of really soft rubber, and it's full of holes. Which means it is constantly flexing and bending and warping. And there's a bit where someone's supposed to do like the badass catch the sword and twist it away thing.
Yeah.
Except when he starts doing the like pushing it out of his hands, what's happening is he's holding the blade, and the blade is just like bending in his hand before it starts moving to the side.
That sounds like that probably is a budgetary thing because of COVID.
Yeah,
that sounds like that's definitely that.
Because reality, sometimes you'll see a writer shot where like there's a bit of wobble in something, or like you look back at an episode and say like, oh, there's a special effects snafu, but that is it's so bad, like so noticeable. But yeah, everything I've seen about Sabers, it got absolutely screwed over when it comes to budget.
Yeah.
Leading to the big thing with the final form, where they sure made a lot of noise about it being an aesthetic choice. That would be my week, really.
Okay.
What about you, Andy?
Unsurprising, it's just been a lot of work, as usual. Not a huge shocker there. I did do a 5.5 hour stream yesterday, which was quite fun. Yeah, all on Jurassic World Evolution. We're cracking on through.
Enjoying that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a well-made game. I'll probably get the second one as well at some point when it comes out.
Apparently they've made a lot of changes to things like animal behavior and stuff, which I'm interested in.
One thing I would like is I'd like it so you could auto set up your rangers to fill the food feeders, so you don't need to I find it really annoying when it just randomly goes, oh yeah, all your feeders are out of food just out of nowhere, unless you're keeping your ass on them. If you could set it up so your rangers, like, even if you just have to set it up so like they go around and do it every half an hour or something like that, or whatever it is, just so you don't have to do that would be a nice addition.
Yeah,
I hate some of the fucking missions. I hate some of the specific missions. Like, the one I was struggling with, well, I wasn't struggling, but was just like me looking at my watch going, for fuck's sake, come on, was the make a Diplodocus, I think it was, and make a Velociraptor, make them unhappy and keep them from escaping. And then once they're uncomfortable to the threshold level, keep them there for like 3 minutes on both of them. And then once you've done that, get them back up to a comfortable level and keep them there for 3 minutes and make sure that they don't keep escaping. Now, the Velociraptor is the most asshole animal currently I've ever bred. As soon as it's slightly discomforted, it'll break through any fence, even if it's a concrete wall. Yeah. I had to set up a pentagram-shaped prison cell for the Velociraptor to break out of, and it still broke out of it within 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, I've seen some people like going with like the who are just going like, this. I'm doing this to get the results, not aesthetics or anything. And they're just like, and you drop a fence here, you drop a fence here, you drop a fence here, and it basically traps them and it makes them think that they're in a good spot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's one of those exploits. Like, you could do it really easily if you wanted to make a terrible park.
Okay.
But don't.
Yeah, but the mission was specific to make them uncomfortable. That was the issue, and because they were uncomfortable, it made them want to break out a lot more, which was the issue. I've made a T-Rex once or twice. They seem to be fairly okay as long as you give them a big area. I thought as soon as I had a T-Rex, like, shit would be going bad, but no, T-Rexes are pretty mellow as long as you give them enough room and food. They're good. Velociraptor, that's the asshole.
Just hanging around like, listen, I'm not making no fuss.
No. But no, it's very enjoyable. I'm trying to think if there's the voice acting all across the board, apart from the one guy. I think we mentioned it last week. Is pretty terrible.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. I have started the first Doctor Wu mission where we're on a covert secret island which people don't know about. And one of the first things you have to do is make it so guests come and visit the park. I'm just sitting there going, what? I understand from like a gameplay perspective you have to do this, but if you want to keep this shit off the grid, you know what not a good idea is doing? Inviting a fuck ton of people to your park.
Behold, my hyper secret, government hidden genetic experiments, which you can see for $9.99.
Yeah, exactly. So what does this mean from a gameplay perspective? It means that you cannot add upgrades to some of your facilities, and it means you cannot go on research digs, and I don't think you can do any research.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
Because it's all like
fair
genetic
enough.
hybrids and stuff like that, so you're not supposed to be able to dig them up.
Yeah, it's weird. I've got the last island unlocked, or the last like site, which is a tiny PP island.
Yeah.
I've basically just been like filling my vaults up with as much money as I can, so when I go over there, I can just make the most expensive dinosaurs as soon as I can, because it seems like that's what you have to do, because you don't have room for anything there. So I'm going to make a T-Rex. When I've got it unlocked, I'm going to make an Indominus Rex. And that's, I'm going to find out what the other big, expensive, sexy dinosaurs are that the people want and just do that, because there's no point setting up my usual thing of having like a big herbivore habitat and just fill it full of the placid, like fairly happy, I'm not going to cause any problems, dad dinosaurs.
Yeah,
which I like them because they're very useful and I love them. They're my backbone of my parks. But no, it's great. It can be a little bit annoying trying to get the monorail set up, just because at some point it'll be like, whoa, that's too hard of a turn. We'll fly off the rails, and you're like, God fucking damn it, I need to break this and rebuild it so it's at a slightly kinder angle. But no, it's a lot of fun. It's enjoyable. Very enjoyable. I looked at some of the He-Man stuff from the PowerCon that happened over the weekend. There wasn't anything amazing, at least from my perspective, announced.
Yeah,
Apparently,
I didn't look at much.
Yeah, there wasn't anything like jaw-dropping for me. From the Mega Construct stuff, which was probably the best, they have a Land Shark coming. I like that vehicle. It's stupid. They also have a set that has Hordak and She-Ra, and I was like, okay, I don't like the little robot thing it comes with, but I'll get it for Hordak and She-Ra because, I like them. And they announced, but they didn't show at the show. Like, there was like a mock version, I guess, of it, Snake Mountain, so that's coming. And I was like, good. The problem is, I assume it's a mock version because it was mostly in grey, and I was like, but what if purple? But what if purple, as it should be? I don't imagine they'll release it in grey. I imagine it was a production version of what it's going to look like, and it looked pretty fucking big. It had the snake curving around. It looked pretty cool. I just want it to be in purple, and I wanted to have a decent selection of villains on there. Basically the ones that are generally in the single packs at the moment. And I mean, looking at Master of the Universe Classics figures, which is a terrible idea, because at the moment they're incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
Incredibly. It's like incredibly expensive. Like, there was a loose Trapjaw today that I was looking at, and the auction finished at about £90 to £100. And I was like, God damn. So, yeah. Oddly enough, there's like one or two that are like okay price being like 60 quid in Ireland, but the postage for them to the UK is like 20 quid. I'm like, fuck, Jesus, it's cheaper to get some stuff from America. Like, what's wrong with the island? And that's been about it.
That's been about it. Charges. That's what you get for leaving.
I guess, yeah. I guess. But Jai's been tempting me with some things. He just needs to give me the price, and then I can give him the monies, and we can get that sorted out.
Not the monies.
The monies. And yeah, I think that's all the interesting stuff I've really been up to this week. Then it's, like I say, just a lot of work. We do have 2 comments from Mr. Paul Anderson, the Sugar Pear. He sent us a message on the Babylon 5 one, which said, cracking overview, sir. B5 had so many choice bits, so many little character turns and spotlights. Consider Via waving at the head of Morden with such glee. Yeah. And he becomes Emperor. Spoilers.
Yep.
And the one thing I wish it did is I
nothing
wish
bad
it told...
happens.
Well, I don't know if anything... That's the thing. I kind of wish we knew, if anything, like, if Via was the guy to make Centauri Prime great again, shall we say.
Yeah.
Because Centauri Prime's left in a bit of a terrible, terrible spot when Londo dies, finally.
Yeah.
And that's not entirely... Well... It's Londo's fault from his own making, but damn it, he tried his best to save his planet. And he did a pretty decent job. For the most part. That's the thing about Londo. He's a very interesting character, but very sad.
He's a good boy.
But also not really. Also not really. He was happiest when he was a nobody ambassador and he had a stripper as a girlfriend.
I mean, it's better to have low goals.
Yeah, well, to be fair, she actually loved him as well, which was kind of impressive, I thought. Mr. Sugar Bear sends us another message. Good morrow, sir. Currently listening to episode 665. A few points. 1. Goddamn, sir, you have to do something devilish for next week. We have not. I guess the most devilish thing we've done is not had any Transformers news and just taught absolute bollocks. That's our stuff. Because it's the number of the beast. Yeah, this episode is 666.
Oh, good. I watched Revice. That's got a devil in it.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There we go.
I watched 2000X. That's got Hordak in. He's like the devil. He's the equivalent of the devil in that show, so... And second on the Alien Attack Cogman, I had a look. It's gone a bit power suit type. You have a small figure which the car wraps around to make a bigger robot. It's a headmaster in so much that the head of the smaller figure would become the main part of the head of the larger figure. It's really weird. Oh, so it's not a headmaster, it's more like a face master.
Yeah.
Oh, no, a brain master, because that's what the brain masters were, wasn't it? They just made a
Basically.
face, basically. Yeah. All right, well, there you go. Mikey, do you have any messages?
I do. I have one from Andreas.
Oh, cool.
And
Sweet.
the other Andy. So, hello, Moonbase 2. Before the question, a quick update on my recently watched anime, Giant Chicken! I binged Rising of the Shield Hero. I was hooked by the very first episode. The fights are not the strong point of the series. I like the fights. But I loved all the character development. The twist of why the kingdom hates the Shield Hero was a bit of a letdown. Turns out they just don't like him. But at the end of the season got me hooked again. I like that twist. I especially like that it's linked to like the animal people as well. Like, yeah. Also tried My Next Life as a Villainous Season 2, but I just can't continue after the first 3 episodes. Same, unfortunately. Show lost all its drive after Doom Flags were resolved in Season 1. Disappointing, but I got Season 1 to cherish. On a whim, I decided to watch my teen romance Snafu, and absolutely adored every second of it, even if the story didn't intrigue me in the slightest. Teenage high school drama. Anime? Haven't heard of it.
No, me neither.
Last, been watching Dragon Maid S, which is great, possibly even better than Season 1. Sadly, it's too Japanese, and I can't discuss it with any of my friends, because they will think I'm a creep when I describe the premise of the show. The premise is very simple. There is a lesbian...
Yeah, but to be fair, if you show them any images of like the tiny dragon with the massive badongas, no, that makes sense. You know,
it's a very...
To be fair, the dragon... Remember, the internet got incredibly pissy about that character, so...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they did.
Incredibly pissy about that
She had a really
character.
good action scene.
Sure, I imagine so. Doesn't matter to people.
Big lesbian dragon moves in with small, probably lesbian, but doesn't want to admit it yet. And Quetzalcoatl is a bit of a creep.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know, really. Anyway, onward to the question specifically from Mikey. I'm reading a book to my daughter where a female dragon has a speaking role in it, and I try to modulate my voice a bit to give it more flair. Do you do the thing where you talk really high? However, I don't know what a female dragon should sound like. I've read on the internet... Sean Connery. Yes. I've read on the internet, so it must be true, that testosterone can make vocal cords grow thicker, which is why human males have deeper voices. Would that be true for dragons, or the next closest thing in the real world, dinosaurs? I.e., did female dinosaurs have a higher pitched voice compared to their male counterparts?
That's an interesting question.
Would you like to know the answer?
I would. No. This is the end of the podcast. No, go on then. Yeah, tell me.
We don't know. To be blunt.
Okay. Well, we don't care about what you do know, but what do you think as a paleontologist person? What would you assume?
We've never found vocal cords from a dinosaur. We've never found the voice box. Now, modern birds don't have vocal cords. They have a very different structure, which means that they don't have the ability to have really deep roars or something like that. So
okay. Then how do you get some birds that can talk?
Because it's to do with how their voice box actually works.
Oh, okay.
So it's how it's vibrating, and it's just, and you'll notice whenever they copy something, they very rarely get the tone right. It's usually higher pitched. So when people think about like dinosaurs and birds and say birds are dinosaurs, ergo all dinosaurs must have been like birds, they go, okay, so they must not have had vocal cords. However, their other nearest relative, which is crocodiles, which are very closely related to dinosaurs and birds, have a larynx. They have full vocal cords, and they can roar and rumble and other stuff. So basically, like, I always say this in paleontology, lots of people especially do things like, they're the bird, and I'll transfer a bird's color scheme, or I'll transfer how the feathers are laid out, or I'll transfer how a bird's axe onto a dinosaur. And I would always say, like, they occupied very different ecological roles. So it's probably very unlikely that a Triceratops sounded or acted like a chicken. So I can't tell you if it had a vocal box or not, but I can tell you whatever it did, it was probably something more along the lines of, like, you know, I think if you said a Triceratops acted a bit like a buffalo or a rhino, you probably would be in the right ballpark. So they can make noise, so I'd assume that the Triceratops could as well.
I guess the only way you'd find out is to find out what what kind of species on Earth share similar DNA to the specific dinosaur, and then I guess you could surmise from that point.
Yeah, like how are you going to do
But
that?
I'm sure that's not like an easy thing to do.
No,
We don't have dinosaur DNA. We
dinosaur
don't have
DNA.
DNA. That's another bad thing about Jurassic World. He's not in, and he should be.
He's in one scene.
Yeah, he should be. He should be. Like I said this during the stream.
Anything,
I said like when you click on the visitor center, there should be like a little movie you can always click on and watch, which is like Mr. DNA giving some information on dinosaurs. I think that would have been a neat little feature. DNA. And then people could learn about dinosaurs as well, which would be fun, while also playing the game.
Yeah, it should be fun. But yeah, so that the answer is basically we have found like traces of like bird voice boxes from the dinosaur era, but we've never found anything for the actual dinos.
So what would you recommend, again, in the spiritual successor to this question, which would be how should they voice their
unless
the
you're using a modulator and can do the whole like really deep voice thing, just go with what you think a woman sounds like.
Okay.
It's a female dragon. It's for your daughter. She'll want something that sounds like her. She'll want something she can relate to.
So you don't suggest like getting a Optimus Prime voice changer mask and doing that?
Well, I mean, depends on the dragon, I suppose. if she's talking about like, and then she put makeup on her friend. If just like, if I was a young lady and Optimus Prime started to talk to me about makeup, I'd be uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. I'd also ask, why are you talking about makeup when I want to see Sword and Sorcery and I want to see you eat someone? As many young girls do, as my niece will tell you. Mm-hmm. Because she has no interest in makeup and really likes violent TV.
No, not yet. You never know. She hasn't got to the teenage years yet.
I'm sure she'll manage to combine the both because she'll be a teenager and she'll try to slap us at some point, I'm sure.
Yay.
Teenagers, they're literally evil.
Yeah. We can say that we were teenagers.
Exactly, we remember.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yep, that's it from my side.
Oh, cool. Well, Mr. Mikey, where can people find you on the internet if they want to?
You can contact me on Irish Paleo, and you can contact us over on the Moonbase 2 and Facebook and Lips and everything else. And send us an email to moonbase2@gmail.com, and we'll always try to answer. We may not be prompt, but we'll always try to answer something. Yeah. And yeah, don't believe what anyone says. We don't know if dinosaurs could actually roar.
No, you should have just left it at that. Don't believe what anyone says.
They're out to get you. If you can believe that.
Oh my god, because that came from someone you don't know. Came from Mikey.
Is it better if you know me?
No. No.
Andy, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter, CCTFW, as YouTube, on YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. We're on the Moonbase 2 forums, on Libsyn, iTunes, Facebook, bless you. YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. You can also find me on Twitch as CCTFW, where I play video games from 11 o'clock in the evening UK time to about 1:30 evening UK time, from Tuesdays to Saturdays. And that's my usual run. That's right. We're also on the ccbunker.weebly.com if you want to go that way. And if you do $2 each month on Patreon, patreon.com/moonbase2, you get the extended version from the Files of Teletran 2. You get it a week early. We've already done that. I just need to, pull my finger out of my poo hole and get that uploaded. And you also get the Moonbase Woo Woo, where we talk about non-transformery things in more detail. There we go. So thank you, everybody, for coming on by, hanging out with us, and listening to us waffle, ramble, and all that jiggery juice. I guess we'll catch you next time. Yes?
Indeed.
Cool. So until next week, everybody, thanks very much for coming on by, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.